Hi Libra, welcome to your mid-February 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So, as I record this, we're going to have a new moon in a fellow air sign of yours, which is Aquarius. And in addition to that, it's going to be in a house that you will probably really resonate with and love, the fifth house, because the fifth house is about love. It's about artistic endeavors, pleasure. You're ruled by Venus. Venus can be about pleasure. So there's a definite connection there. Maybe there's some new artistic projects or just love coming into your life. Let's see. I got the Sun card. So definitely something along those lines. We have the Two of Cups in the challenge position. Wow, you actually have some great cards. And I wonder if there's actually a Leo person, because a couple of these connect with Leo. The Six of Wands connects with Leo. So as the heart of the matter, the Six of Wands can be about taking your bow, getting recognized, and that kind of thing being very front and center in your life, or perhaps wanting to be, wanting to have somebody give you those kinds of accolades in the workplace and notice your talents, not just, criticize or act like you're not doing enough. And so, receiving that recognition, while it can come for some people, can also be something that you're longing for. So, see if that resonates with you. In the past position, we have the Eight of Swords. So there's that definite sense of oppression, but the person is keeping themselves bound by their own thoughts. So typically I see that with issues of low self-esteem, second-guessing yourself. An example would be when you feel unappreciated in the workplace, but you don't do anything about it. Either you don't, express your concerns with somebody who has some power to change that, or you don't just face facts that this is something that feels like not very, you don't feel very good about it, and that makes it hard for you to feel committed to that job because you feel like you're not being treated with respect. And the same thing applies to your personal relationship. When somebody doesn't feel like they are treated well, they can have a certain sense of, I would say resentment, but in this case, it can just feed on insecurities to not have that. The higher message is the Sun card. And this is about what you're looking for. So this is the goal. The goal is, and it's interesting because I was saying, oh, well, this is just for love, so it's not going to apply for work. But that is not true. The Sun rules Leo, which is that Six of Wands. And it does have that connection with the self. And I would say honoring the self. So this idea of, feeling like you're deserving of praise can be an issue in both of these areas. The Sun card is about shining your light in the world. And it's possible that you're in a kind of job where you can't do that. Either your talents are going unnoticed or unappreciated, and so it doesn't feel like you're really reaching people. It's like, they say in the Bible, throwing pearls before swine. Giving the best of yourself to someone or to some people who don't appreciate you. And what does that mean? What does that mean for your life as a whole? And it can feel just very lonely and unsatisfying, because it's not that you need somebody to constantly pat you on the back, but the reason like a good leader does that is because it is very encouraging to the people that are underneath them. And same thing with relationships. People who constantly need praise, that's a different story. That's a form of, insecurity. But if you are with somebody who never seems to notice the good qualities that you have, it can feel like you're not perhaps reaching them in that way, and it can trigger insecurities, but it also can indicate that perhaps you're not compatible. So both of those things could be possible. So look for those kinds of areas where you're not feeling fulfilled and how you can make that happen. Another thing, too, is that there may be somebody who is on the scene who is someone that might be the love of your life. Maybe that is what the Sun card represents in the spiritual position. That this Leo or this person is finally seeing you for who you are. And in the past, you experienced that kind of oppression in relationships. What crosses you is the Two of Cups. This can mean perhaps yearning for a relationship that is not healthy, trying to go back with somebody, an unrequited love, like a one-way street. Again, if you admit that you have that Libra within yourself, and maybe you've met somebody who is much more respectful of you and honoring who you are, you can, it's very important for you to be able to, be the kind of person who is able to see the truth of the situation, and also not to push away somebody who actually does give you what it is that you're longing for. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, somebody will say that they're not attracted to that person, and that person's he's so nice, and like that's something bad, and they're attracted to the bad boys and that kind of thing. So this fantasy of reconciliation might be something that is keeping you from really either going after love or even accepting it when it comes your way. Another thing, too, is we're in Mercury retrograde during the time that I'm doing this period of time, mid-month. And that can mean that somebody from the past comes back. But you better really look at that in a honest way, and not just be like falling over yourselves. Oh my gosh, falling over yourself that this person contacted you, because they may be playing games. And if this is work related, it might be a situation where it's a one-way street, where you're the one who is putting your all into it and you're not getting back. The Sun card is your spiritual inheritance. So to me, it's what you deserve. So you deserve to be in an environment where you are treated with dignity, where you are treated as if you are a valuable member of the team. If you are being treated in a shabby way, you teach people how to treat you. And sometimes that means you have to walk away from that environment. Easier said than done. Sometimes you can't financially. You don't have the wherewithal. And in those situations, the next step would probably be making those plans of how you're going to, leave that situation in a way that you can keep your finances intact. So whether it means that you're just like, I'm not spending any money other than my basic necessities for 6 or 9 months, and I'm just going to save, whatever it means to you that you do, or that you just explore your alternatives. But the Eight of Swords, because the person is thinking in a way that is very limited, probably, they're just feeling like they are trapped in that situation. And sometimes people allow themselves to feel trapped because then they have an excuse not to actually take action. So that's what's happening. So what's coming in is a Judgment card, cause and effect. This is the card that deals with that. So what you put in, you get out. You know, you plant a seed, you get your harvest. And actually, for speaking of harvests, we think of in terms of astrological timing, the full moon. And I'm trying to think. So there is going to be a full moon in Virgo at the end of February, like around February 28th. And that'll be your 12th house. And that can be a time when secrets are revealed, when something makes it so that you don't have to feel like, with judgment, sometimes people question their judgment and they don't know if they're making the right decision. And sometimes when things get revealed, then you realize that you were not crazy for actually thinking a certain thing. And so that's one possibility. You're also going to have a full moon in your sign at the end of March. I think like about March 28th or so. So maybe that'll be the time when a certain cycle ends for you that involves having to make a decision about something, about your next move in life. And the outcome is the Page of Wands. Start spreading the news. Good news on the horizon. New projects, new, hearing something that makes you happy, that gives you a spring in your step. This can be, we are having this new moon in Aquarius, of course. It's something that is during the Mercury retrograde, but let me think. But then, about 10 days after that, then Mercury goes direct, and that might feel like forward movement for you, and that might be the time when some of these things, if you start to pursue them, have a better chance of taking root. But, it's funny that we have these really nice cards. The Judgment card can be nice in the sense that it's a card of rebirth, too. So there's that. And it's just that Eight of Swords, which you are a sword, being an air sign, Libra, the mind can play tricks on us. The mind can tell us that we aren't deserving of something, that we can't have something, that it's impossible, and that's not true. It takes your ability to see through the difficulties in the moment to actually achieve the victory that the Six of Wands promises. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. I'm primarily an astrologer, and I work with people's natal charts in most of my readings. So you can see what type of readings I offer. I'd love to work with you. Take care. Bye.